So welcome to the podcast for the final week of 2022. And we end it with a bang because we had the trophy race. John, the trophy race, how many years has it been on for now?
45 years. So that was the 45th edition. What a great legacy. All started off, I think, in 1988 or 89. And it was just sitting there dormant in the clubhouse until about, yeah, it's all right. You'll last, Crafty. It was sitting dormant in the clubhouse until about the mid-90s. And someone says, let's pull this trophy out and have a race for it. And it's become quite an iconic trophy now.
Well, as the crowd showed on Tuesday.
It was huge.
Great vibe.
The crowd was huge, but let's start off with the support race. And the support race was a handicap between C and B grade. Colin held C grade back a fair bit. He said 30 seconds, which is almost double what they get on Tuesday night, which means they've got less of an advantage. And yet they stayed away. The C graders stayed away, which proves they can do it. Alexis, what was happening in C grade?
Absolutely. I think it was where C grade were racing it like it was a normal handicap. So everyone was rolling through from the start. Whereas B grade, I think, treated it a little bit more like a scratch race where they were trying to blow a few people out the back. A few people were going off the front. They weren't a very cohesive unit throughout that race. And I think it showed. And for the first few times with 3 laps to go, it was clear it was going to be a C grade victory. And that's certainly pretty unusual.
6 laps.
Did you think the conditions played a part, Alexi?
I think, no, not so much. I think it was more, you're probably now reaching that stage where particularly some of the B grade stronger riders have got to decide, are they willing to go it alone for the whole race? Or are they going to back it off 5 or 10 watts and get the whole of B grade working together? Then they'll have much more success.
I'm going to jump in. It was at 6 to go that B grade realised they weren't within Kui. Probably at 8 to go, they weren't making much inroads on C grade. They'd done it a fair bit early on, and as you said, they were pretty busted from surges that were happening. But C grade stayed away, and Chris Reynolds, the owner of Champion Systems, wins the Champion Systems handicap. That is cool. Saves us a bit of prize money. Not really. But Chris, a worthy winner. He's been smashing it in C grade. But John, who was second and third?
Oh, well, second place, Stu Computer Campbell. Out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
first race of his season, I imagine.
Oh, it was. But look, I'm putting it out there. I watched the sprint. He started sprinting as if he was going to win it. And then at 50 meters to go, he stopped pedaling. Not because he was busted. He's gone, oh, man, oh, shit. If I win this, everybody's going to bag out on me. And he completely stopped pedaling, hoping that maybe someone would roll over him. But he had so much speed that no one did. And third place, Jack Renshaw. Jack Renshaw, wasn't he trying to ride A grade a year ago or 2 years ago, John?
That's right.
He was.
He's not going to be in C. He won't be in C grade in the next race.
At the same time, he couldn't beat a guy who wasn't pedaling in a sprint. So
he could. You're right. He couldn't beat computers as honest as they come, no matter what. Absolutely. Look, the front three, I'd say BBB. It's like a brand of sunglasses, isn't it?
So the real C grade winner. Oh, when I say the real C grade, but the one that the C grade that deserves the most accolades, I thought was the first place Ben Dewhurst.
Okay,
I think that's a harsh assessment.
Yeah, I say Chris Reynolds won it. Chris Reynolds won it.
Chris Reynolds, right?
Yeah,
and I'd also say that Chris, Jack, Rod, all of them were very worthy winners on the night. Worked throughout the entire race, were tireless.
You definitely skipped Computer's name.
I did, yes. Was a little bit, but didn't work. So therefore, didn't win. No issue.
There was one other place getter in the top 5 who also deserves a shout out for just the sheer amount of work he did tonight, and that was Rodrigo Nataro.
He's awesome. We love Rodrigo. He could ride B grade, but I love him in C grade. Let's leave him. Now, this is...
very quickly then, we will then go... It was also the battle of the first female home, I think, of the night was only in the support race. And I think you saw a really great race between Rose and Lily.
It was cracker.
They knew from the rollout that they were had to watch each other, and they were just honing in on each other like beacons in those last couple of laps, and that was a sprint finish. So that was a really good way to watch them race.
A solid sprint finish for B grade, but let's ignore that because it was a minor place. This is not the first time B grade haven't got up at the trophy race. See, what is it? Is it C grade come alive? Is it they changed this? John, help me out.
Well, I think B grade, as Alexi alluded to, some of the guys, they treat it as a scratch race, and they can't work out why the less stronger riders aren't matching turns because they're not rolling or riding cohesively. So they lose their impetus. And on a night like Tuesday, where the wind was playing havoc too, that just ruins the impetus even more.
There's got to be more than that. Alexis, is there a other psyche, or what do you think?
How good are the C grade riders coming together? If only they could pull it together just for 1 week in the handicap.
Yeah, well, they waited 10 weeks plus 1 to do it, and
That's
they did it. Okay, are we done with the support race? I don't mean to. Yeah, congratulations, Rose Vazel. Yeah, John.
Big shout out to Rose and also to Lily, being the only two that finished, and they were competitive to the end. But just a quick shout out to the B grade sprint, which was won by Sam Muldoon. I thought it was a good result for him.
It was a good sprint, and it was a real sprint as well. They were throwing everything at it. Let's move on to the trophy race. And John, it's a scratch race over 20 laps. Some of the B graders are invited, and congratulations to any B grader who rode the trophy race. John, it's a tradition.
It is. So this is your chance to match it with the better riders. You've had a good, some of the riders have done really well in some of the handicaps, scored good points, scored good places, and this is their chance to see if they can match it with the faster speed. And some of them did really well and finished.
It seemed like a pretty large group.
It was
like
big.
At the start line.
It was very big, but not as big as the audience. The crowd was really big. And John, that's not because we put on a good race. It's not because of my commentary. It's because there was a special rider there. People got wind that Caleb rode last week, and I think they came in the hope of seeing Caleb Ewan at Heffron Park.
And this week they showed up in numbers, because what an opportunity to see a World Tour rider race on your doorstep.
Well, let me do a bit of a synopsis of the race. But there was a lot of attacks. They started fast, and very early on there was several splits. They split on the first lap. They split on the second lap. They split on the third, and the third was where Dan Bonello, and get this, Chris Miller broke away. So those two were away, and then the very next lap, Dan Bonello comes through. And I'm squinting my eyes. It's not Chris Miller. It was Darcy Ellum Norton. And those two opened up a big... What happened to Chris? I don't know. They kind of transported each other in and out. They opened up quite a large lead, John.
I thought it was almost a race-winning move. But as always, the extra 5 laps in the trophy race, you can go a little bit too... If you go too deep too early, you'll pay the price at around about that, mid-race point, and I think that's what happened to them.
They were away for several laps, and then there were several riders who were trying to jump across. In fact, Caleb had a bit of a go jumping across, but every time they jumped, the bunch absorbed the little mini breaks. And then, bang, Ollie Penny goes across, and boy, did he go across. Alexis, you wouldn't have seen it, but John, that was amazing how he got across.
Yeah, it was a huge effort, massive effort. There didn't seem to be too much cohesion once Ollie got up to them, did there?
Yep. Well, that's right, because Ollie and Darcy are now, they're wearing the same kit. They're in the Rafa kit. So somehow they're in the same team, I think. And Dan Bonello said, first off, he said, why the F didn't one of my ZCC teammates follow Ollie up? That would have been a different story. 2 ZCCs and 2 Rafa riders.
And he was certainly pretty happy about that at the end of the race, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was right about it.
Yeah. Then when Ollie was there, we now had the 3, but Dempinello wouldn't work, and it got all messed up. Ollie ended up by himself. The other 2 went back to the bunch. Ollie didn't last long, and that initiated a chase because they caught him and other moves went.
It's worth remembering that Ollie Penny's in that break, and he'd got across, was in the break when you look at the finishing.
Yeah, he was.
Yes,
awesome.
Good point.
Now, Alexis, name some other people that had a bit of a go trying to get a break.
I liked hearing that people we haven't spoken about this season, Brad Mills and Cridlin.
Yep, they both had a go.
Had a crack. How good's that? Everyone was coming back.
And then one of the Koreans had a go by himself, Shindong, I think it was, at 4 or 3 to go. But it was always looking like a bunch sprint. ZCC wanted it because they had Jack Bennett and kind of Caleb as well, John.
What were the lap times like, John?
Super fast. And I thought it was a tough night with that northeasterly. But a lot of the guys said after the race, it was very off on. So when you came over the second pimple, you kind of hit the wind, you got pushed back. But when you hit the straight, it was full noise with the northeasterly. So just as you thought you were done and losing touch, you'd get a chance to get back on.
Yeah, the race continued with a number of other big breaks, but it all came back together. We lined it up for a bunch sprint, and boom, out of the corner, I started calling the sprint, and suddenly I saw this flash of red hit the front, and it was Huge Harvey in the middle of the road, sprinting, and I've gone, oh my God, this guy's the real deal. And then Tom Bolton popped out on the right-hand side, slightly protected, and gets the victory. It was great victory, by the way.
Super, super impressive ride by Hugh Harvey. Awesome victory by Tom Bolton. First time he's actually won the trophy race. And now he's got his name on it. But also a little shout out to Ollie Penny for 3rd place. Good ride.
Hugh Harvey, certainly, he's not afraid of going long, is he? He's happy to go straight out of that corner.
Oh, absolutely. And a few of us were discussing how the sprint unfolded after the race, and just being there in the front part of the race at that point is a huge effort. But to be there and then to be able to have the strength and the power, but then as someone reminded me at 18, 19 years old, his fast twitch fibers are still developing at a rapid race, at a rapid rate. And so he's not afraid to use them, which is impressive.
I was a little concerned that the A-grade cohort was going to go, oh, you think you're good. Oh, you think you're good. Well, they kind of know he's good now. And I hope from this point forward, he's proven he's good. I hope they nurture him and actually teach him, because I think he's worth investing in.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And I'd add to that in the first couple of weeks, there was that concern, has he got the bike handling skills? Okay, yeah, he's got the strength, he does have the bike handling skills. He's certainly showing he's got both now, if he's able to be up there at the end of the race to hit that straight.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of respect to Hugh from the other riders on Tuesday night. And I think Tom Bolton said that after the race, that don't worry, he's good. And he definitely is.
Unfortunately, we don't have Ollie Penny's video today, but we've got one of Ollie Penny's cameras on the back of Tom Bolton. So this is coming in with a lap and a bit to go. And I can see Rowan Hayden. And that's
Tom Lombardi.
Lombardi.
Yeah. He had a good ride, First race at Heffron, up from Melbourne. He was there at the finish.
Okay, I like that Ollie's gone, I'm sick of not being on screen. I want people to actually see what I look like.
Okay, as we come into the U-turn, I want you to watch the outside of the U-turn, because somebody doesn't even come close. Okay, who was that, John? It was one of the Rafa?
I think it might have been Darcy.
Yeah, he's going
Don't forget Darcy. Darcy's about to do the last lap turn. No, it wasn't Darcy.
Okay, if it was Darcy, it's not the first time he's been on the grass. So it looks like a Randwick Rafa. Okay, we've got a beautiful view of Caleb with the sun glowing in the background nicely.
We might nice little elbow there to position himself in past the bridge lane rider.
I hope you got a
Malachi.
chance to see how big the line is. One, it's strung out, but two, that's a big bunch.
Oh, yeah. And it was the off-on. It was the fact that when it was really, really stretched out, the next moment there was an opportunity for everybody to gather their breath and get back on.
We've got the bell ringing now, and we get a look at what the crowd.
crowd.
Had. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely.
And Caleb looks like he is on his limit coming off that straight. He looks like a man who's busted.
Okay, there was a split. About 7 or 8 riders are off the back now. Maybe Lockie Harrigan, or was that Cam Fraser going backwards?
No, that was Cam.
Yeah.
Sat up there.
So we've just halved the bunch pretty much. We're down to, you can see that gap right now.
There's only like, there's no more than 7 or 8 in the front group there.
Yeah. Is that Brad Mills?
It's Millsy.
Yeah. Oh, we're running out of time. Sorry about that. And look, yeah, there's Harvey, huge Harvey, Rowan Hayden in there, and Jack Bennett as well. So this is really, they're really fighting it out, aren't they?
Yeah. There's not much left.
No, let's keep
Is Jack going into a sweeper role there, or is he actually losing a place or two?
I think he was planning for a sweeper role of Caleb. They're good mates. And let's face it, if Caleb got some clean air, Jack could have got sucked through for second if he was on the wheel. Consequently, if he's also on the wheel, it means nobody else is on Caleb's wheel, a.k.a.
There's Jack now, he goes.
Yeah, so Jack
goes
wants
up to,
as well.
Yeah.
There's Ollie, and there's
Hugh Harvey on the left.
And Marcus. Marcus is there as well. There goes the lead out man.
Cupid goes there.
And
Hugh gives Ollie the nice little push out of the way, gets the nice wheel.
Benello went backwards. You can still see the 7 or 8 riders chasing behind this group as they go over. Is this the last pimple, John?
This one now, yeah. And Hugh's in the mix there. He's right on it.
Well, he's
so what wheel would this be? About 5th or 6th?
Yeah, I was going to say 4th or 5th wheel.
He's on Bolton's wheel, which is pretty hot property.
Done.
Okay, that's Millsy done. So there can't be too many more in front of them.
Here's the U-turn. No one's on the grass.
Tom is 4th wheel behind Jack and Caleb at this point.
Okay.
3rd wheel.
Now, my memory said that Huge Harvey went before Tom, but we'll find out for real now because this is the first time I've seen it. We're into the straight and the sprint's starting. And there we see Jesse.
That was Jesse Coyle on the front.
Yep. And now he's in the center. Oh, he's got some. It was Tom who went first. Huge Harvey gets second. Ollie in there for third. But that was intense.
That was power.
Yep.
I would say the one thing is Bolton showed how strong he is that Hugh was never able to come off his wheel. You know, he wasn't able to sweep by him. He led him the whole way there.
I would say one of the features was how Huge Harvey ended up on Tom Bolton's wheel, because that would have to be one of the wheels you'd want to be on. Caleb sat up. He is finding the intensity of from lap 1 at Heffron pretty hard, John.
He's more used to settling into his races for a couple of hours at a nice moderate pace and then picking up towards the finish. Whereas at Heffron, it's go from the gun.
It's the pressure cooker.
Yeah, it is. So coming into the straight, there was Jesse Coyle leading it into straight. Then you had Jack. Then you had Caleb. Then you had Tom Bolton and Hugh Harvey. And Hugh matched Tom all the way down the straight with about a sort of 60, 80 to go. He just tried to get out of the saddle and kick, but he didn't go very far to get sort of more than up to his rear axle.
The apprentice has not yet come the master.
In regards to Caleb, in the professional rank, like prior to professionals, the sub-tier, they ride a lot of criteriums in Netherlands, in Belgium, the Kermesses, but the pros, they don't, they get full on open roads. All right. So they don't do criteriums, and the only criteriums they do, spoiler alert, they're fixed. The post-tour criteriums, well, if you're in the cycling business, you know the result is already written down. The
what are those post-tour crits?
And
know that.
Yep. So the winner is
no way.
Yeah, John.
I'm really surprised by that.
I'm not surprised if you are being joking or not. I like either way. I believe it.
Crafty, I'm joking. Okay, calm down.
Okay, your winner of the crit is somebody who was outstanding from the tour. The second place is the outstanding pro from that country, and third place is usually the up and coming pro in that country.
And you forgot the rider from the village.
Yes, the rider from the
He's
village makes
too.
the break. Not that we know stuff, but yeah. So basically, they don't race crits, is what I'm saying. Before we go to rider of the week, Alexis, I noticed that in C grade you're missing a rider.
We were. I just want to give a shout out to Hudson Rowling. Hope to see you back on the bike soon, Hudson, and all the best on the recovery.
And John, we've finished 2022, 2023. Yep. When is it?
Have the next 3 or 4 weeks off and see you on Tuesday, the 17th of January for round 1 of the summer series.
And the summer series carries points. We'll talk about that next week, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
And let's also not forget that in February, we have the second Heffron monument of the season, which are the memorial races. And we haven't set a date, but it's likely to be the 2nd or 3rd Tuesday night in February.
Okay, let's go. Rider of the week. John, who do you say rider of the week is?
I'm going for Tom Bolton, the winner, first time of the trophy race. Name on the trophy. It's done. It's there forever. Well done, Tom.
Worthy pick. Alexis, who do you say rider of the week?
I like Tom Bolton as a winner, but I'll go Ollie Penny simply because he was in that break early and then still managed to be right up there at third.
My rider of the week, Ollie Penny. He wasn't in one break. He went across the one. He went in another one. John Sunde was grabbing me on the shoulder saying, Crafty, he's going to win. And he damn well nearly did it. He got third. I reckon rider of the week, Ollie Penny.
And John, hopefully that means he'll send his videos back to us again.
Yeah, we've got to see them. Get them up before Thursday afternoon, Ollie. So, John, who's rider of the week?
I support you on rider of the week, Ollie Penny. And just to prove that I did pick one thing right, we were having the discussion, would Ollie Penny win a race? And I backed him on winning a race before Christmas at Heffron Park. Okay, he didn't win one at Heffron, but he did win the Manly race on Sunday. So
anyone can win Manly. Like
I've still got till the end of January. And while we're out there on predictions, I'm willing to say Adam Richardson will win the C grade point score.
Oh yeah, Adam is looking really good. He's been so impressive, so consistent. So don't let us down, Adam.
I'm impressed with Hersey, Manly rider Hershey.
Yeah, Phil Hersey.
Yeah, he's doing okay. Hey, let's wrap it up. We're not going to wrap it up. We'll see you next Tuesday. We'll see you.
We can't. See you next year.
Yes, see you next year in 2023. In the meantime, happy, what do you say?
Merry
Christmas? Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And to the atheists, celebrate it anyway.
Leave it there, Crafty. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you in 2023.
Cheers.